Undersignaling or muting has become a huge problem recently, last 5 years, where these are extremely trustworthy, super smart individuals, and they are not getting buy-in. They're not being paid what they're worth. They cannot find their soulmate. They cannot find friends. And it is because while they are warm and competent, they are not signaling it.
Do you ever feel awkward or wonder if people actually like you? Have you noticed how some people just have that magnetic energy? Like you instantly want to be around them, trust them, follow them, and you wish you could be like that too? I asked Vanessa Van Edwards to join me today because she's one of the world's leading experts on human behavior and the science of charisma. Vanessa is a renowned behavioral researcher, best-selling author, and a masterclass instructor. Her brand new class, People Intelligence, is available now, and it's basically your step-by-step guide to becoming more confident, likable, and magnetic in every area of your life. Vanessa's been featured on everything from The Today Show and CNN to top podcasts and her viral TED Talk. And her research has helped millions of people, including celebrities, entrepreneurs, and high performers, show up with more power and presence in everything from first dates to high stakes meetings. In today's conversation, she's breaking down the subtle cues that instantly make people like and trust you, why confidence isn't a personality trait, it's a habit you can build, and how to become the most likable or respected person in the room. We get into real-life advice for job interviews, dating, networking events, meeting new people, meeting your future in-laws, plus her one surprising tweak that makes people like you more immediately. Seriously, what she says about the science behind nailing a first impression is mind-blowing. By the end of this episode, you'll have the exact blueprint to be more charismatic in a way that still feels authentic to you. Here's my conversation with Vanessa. You've called yourself a recovering awkward person, which I think is so funny. Can you take us back to what that version of you looked like and what sparked your obsession with people skills and human behavior?
Yes, I would love to, and forgive the rasp. I'm recovering from a cold. We think it makes me
Yes,
sound
I
better.
think
Let's hope.
it's a little sexy.
Yes, there you go. So back to my awkward years, which is, I think that when we think about awkwardness, we think about one stereotype: quiet, maybe introverted, bumbling, or clumsy. I am not that kind of awkwardness, and I think it's important to think about how awkwardness dresses up. Awkwardness dresses up in so many different ways. It can be showing off. It can be drama queen. It can be competitive, one-upping. My awkwardness was always, and I mean always, saying the wrong thing. But the awkwardness was like overthinking. And so I would get in my head in these social situations or business situations or with my teachers. And I was so overthinking that I would just blurt out the wrong thing. And people would then reply, like, they'd be awkward back to me. And it was this very bad cycle of, I don't like who I am. I don't know who I am. So I'm going to say something wrong. And then people are going to treat me like I'm weird and wrong. And that was on repeat for a long time.
And when you say something wrong, that means saying something that people are like, oh, this isn't the right time to say that, or what was saying something wrong?
So usually it was like, I'm a Labrador energy. Have you?
Yes.
You're like, I don't know. Are you a cat energy or are you Labrador energy?
Right.
Which one are
I'm
you?
definitely more Labrador, so I'm with you.
Yeah. So I'm a Labrador and people think I'm a cat. I don't know
Oh,
why.
interesting.
In fact, someone once told me, you're so much nicer than you look. I was like, what?
What?
What? I guess I look mean.
You don't look mean to me.
Well, thanks. Well, thanks. So I think people assume that I'm like this cat, but actually I'm like,
Yeah.
will you be my friend? Do you like me? I like you. I like everyone. And I really want to be liked. So the wrong thing would be, do you want to be my friend? To like the girl who barely knows me. Or like, do you want to hang out today and tomorrow, like all the time? And they'd be like, whoa. The good news is, the silver lining is, I did find some of my people that way. There were a couple people who were like, oh, authentic. Okay, girl, let's hang out. But for the most part, I was coming on very strong. And also I had no idea like the dance that is new friendship. There's sort of a slow ramp on purpose in a new relationship, whether that's dating or friendship or even like coworkers. And I missed it. I would skip to level 2. And people would be like, whoa, this also meant asking, I'm embarrassed to say this, too personal of questions all the time. I just want to know everything about you. I do. And so I want to know your deepest fears. But turns out that's not great for first time conversation.
Sure.
All of this led me to my career of how do we actually connect with another human being? What are appropriate levels of intimacy? What are questions that create connection that are still socially safe? Once I started to understand how that works, I became a lot less awkward because I was not overthinking. I was like, oh, I got it. We're in a level 1 conversation. There's 3 levels of conversation, which I'm happy to go into. We're in a level 1 conversation. We want to show liking, but not come on too strong. We want to be authentic, but not overeager. And so I started to learn the hidden rules of people. I never got that memo. Some people, they know these rules. I did not.
I think it's really profound to say that this stuff can be learned. I know that's so much your work is showing charisma can be taught, confidence can be practiced. It's not like if you're an awkward person, if you're an introvert, you're stuck like that forever.
Yeah, and I think I thought that for a long time. And that is also because if you think this is not your fault. Many of the resources and books, especially when I was in my teens and 20s, were all written by extroverts. The way that extroverts teach people skills is they try to teach you to fake being extroverted. If you are not an extrovert, I'm an ambivert. I'm somewhere in between the two. If you're not an extrovert, you cannot fake being extroverted. It's exhausting. It's inauthentic. It does not work. And so I think not only can we learn it, you can learn how to be charismatic and likable without faking being an extrovert. And that is my life's work, is you can be charismatic just as you are without having to fake being outgoing or cheerful or something that you're not.
So anyone can be charismatic.
Especially if you're introverted.
Wow.
That's the secret sauce.
That's the secret
especially if you're
sauce. So I want to get into the tips of how that works, starting with first impressions. Can you walk us through what happens in the brain during the first impression and how can we kind of like take control of it?
Yes. Okay. I just want to talk about a mistake that we make. And this is a mistake I made. I undervalued the first impression by focusing a lot on, well, I better be funny. I better tell great stories. But actually, your first impression, if you nail that, everything else is easier. And this is good news. It means you really only have to worry about the first few seconds, nailing that, and then everything becomes easier. So, in a first impression, the other person is trying to answer a basic question about you. Can I trust you? Even if we know we're in a safe setting or we're on Zoom, the brain is still hyper alert in those first few seconds. So, the faster you can signal friend, 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 safe, 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 the more their brain is then able to connect. If you don't do that, the brain is unable to get off that, I don't know about this person. And that's when you have a interaction where like you're not clicking. It's probably because you didn't shut off those alarm bells at the very beginning. So first that we do this is non-verbally. Our first impression is primarily nonverbal. That's body language, gesture, facial expressions. My favorite first impression gesture is a palm flash. So we love to see a palm on video, in a room, walking into a restaurant, walking to a boardroom. I'm, hello, morning, good to see you, with my palm up in the air. In a way, it sort of signals to the other person's brain, she's not concealing anything. She's greeting me. And therefore, we could go palm to palm if we want to, right? We could handshake or hug or high five. She's not holding anything back. So that's the most important one. You can try it with me if you want. A little.
I know I like it. It feels very intuitive. Hi. And it kind of like makes you feel a little friendlier too. You are initiating something even though it's so subtle.
Yes, there is a loop there. I think you're right. They found that we can work inside out, right? We can feel confident and show confidence, or I can have intention to be your friend, and that comes out in my wave. But also you can work outside in. So you can wave, and that will make your brain feel like, oh, if I'm safe enough to show my palm, this person must be safe.
It's interesting how primal it is. Like it's so like caveman days.
Yes. Now, before I tell you the rest of my first impression, do you know what your first impression is? Have you ever asked anyone? Do you have a suspicion?
No, I honestly don't. I should ask. Good, but maybe am I so in my own little world that maybe it's actually really bad and I have no idea.
You just said good,
Good.
good,
With the voice raise at the
good,
end.
which shows me you think it's good, but you're not sure, which is what you said. You used a question inflection on a word. In a first impression, you usually have one or two words you say. Hello, my name is Vanessa. I'm an author, whatever that is. When you use the question inflection on a statement, it actually changes our brain. Our brain does not like it when someone asks a statement. And that is because liars accidentally use the question inflection because they're asking, do you believe me? That's what
Right.
they're asking. So a mistake that people make is they give away all their honesty in that one word where they say, my name is Vanessa. They go up at the end of their name. That is telling the other person, I'm not so sure of myself. You shouldn't be sure of me either. Even if this is habit, the brain goes, they measured this. I'll try to explain it simply. They had people listen to statements. My name is Vanessa. I'm an author. Then they had them add question inflections to those statements. My name is Vanessa. I'm an author. Then they had people listen to both these statements. When people listen to the question inflection, their brain went from listening to scrutinizing. It literally changed
Wow.
where they listened. This is massively important. If you're in interaction, this is what was happening to me. I was in an interaction and I felt like people were judging me. Well, they were, because I was accidentally using the question inflection and their brain was not just listening. It was, why is she asking me about herself? And the brain stays in that skeptical mode. And then it comes out in our face, in our voice, in our questions. This is especially important in sales. So I do a lot of sales trainings and I always know who's going to have the hardest time. Same with asking for a raise or negotiating for your salary. You are going to have a hard time getting paid your number, your worth, if you ask your number. Why? If you ask your number, you're asking the other person, do you believe this? I don't know if I believe it, but do you? So like a sales training will sound like this. Hi, we'd love to work with you. We'd love to have your business. And the cost of the service is $5,000. Did you hear it?
Yes. It does, even if it's subconscious in your brain, you're like, "Wait, is it? Is that are you doing too much?" Yeah, you start to kind of not believe it, not trust it.
Yes. So in a salary negotiation, oh, and by the way, cringe. Like it's so hard to
So
do this.
hard.
Okay. Like, and I just want to like say that right up front. So in a salary negotiation, you're already nervous, right? You're already nervous. You're wondering, am I worth it? Is this the right number? What's in their budget? Like you're already in your head. So then you're in the room and they ask, so what are your salary ideas for this position? And you say, well, I was doing a lot of market research and I have a lot of experience in this industry. And I believe that the salary that would be appropriate would be $100,000.
And then they start thinking, "Are you sure about that? I don't know. I don't trust you."
Subconsciously, two things are happening. One, their brain went from listening to scrutinizing. They are more likely to scrutinize that. Well, where'd you research that? How many years do you have? Well, have you done this role before? Literally, their brain is in skepticism when you do that. So you're going to get way worse questions. Second, it reminds them of something. And in their mind, they're like, what does that remind me of? A liar. That's what it reminds them of. And so their spidey sense begins to go, I don't know if I feel good about this. I do a lot of research with people, and they often will say things like, I just like didn't get a good feeling. Or, I was thinking about making that decision and I just was like, I just had a bad feeling about it. What they're picking up on is something very real. It is either a chemical response to a person or a brain neurological response to a person. So when someone asks their number, their boundary, their salary, what they want out of life or in a relationship, I want to move in with you versus I want to move in with you. That person's brain is like, I don't get a good feeling. They're neurologically triggered that it could be deception, even if it's not.
That is crazy. That's crazy. So in a first impression, the hand
Yeah.
flash and then not doing the uptick, "My name is Josie." It's so nice to meet
Yes.
you. I'm a
Yes. So
podcast
a little
host.
palm flash, hit palm flash, and then morning, everyone. I'm Vanessa. I'm so happy to be here today.
Mm.
Right? Like very down, low tone, not asking. If you can, I really like making gaze in the first few moments. The reason for this is because of a chemical called oxytocin. So, oxytocin does a lot of things in our body, but for our purposes, for social purposes, it's the chemical of connection. When you're with someone and you're like, I really like her, that's actually oxytocin. Of course, with your body. So, how do we trigger oxytocin in interaction? Eye contact and touch. The next ways, which are there but less, mutual laughter and me too moments. Like, we got on this podcast before we started recording and I was like, I'm so sorry, my voice. You're like, oh, my voice too. I was like, me too, Z's.
Yes, all the me toos, because you're, like,
Well,
relating even about something little.
yes, because I'm like oxytocin, because I know it's going to be a way more fun interview if we have some oxytocin and we're not in person, so I can't hug you.
Yes,
I would have hugged you,
yes.
you know? So eye contact as you're approaching across the room, holding that eye contact on camera. You are actually down here, but I'm not looking at me or you. I'm looking at the camera because I know that's gifting you oxytocin. So making sure you're looking at your dot, not yourself.
That is mind-blowing too, just that connection in your eyes, and physical touch, I think, is a big one too, of just knowing how much that's doing if you can hug someone. Does that also count a handshake if it is, like, a work setting?
Yeah, good question. So the amount of touch produces more oxytocin. So a high five, very little. Like 1
Quick second
second,
of touch.
it doesn't count, actually. Like by the way, like if I'm in person, I'm looking for excuses to high five them the entire time because it keeps our oxytocin up. It's like burst, burst. It's also a palm flash.
Oh,
So,
wait. Oh, so a high five is actually a good little tip.
now I'm a high fiver. I'm Labrador energy. Okay. If you're my cat people, my cat people make me nervous because I'm like, do you like me? My cat people, they're like, bleh, when I'm like high five.
It's so true.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. You don't have to if you're a cat person, just like a nod is fine. For my Labrador people, if you're in the office or even on a date, I'm even going to say it on a date. I high-fived my husband before he was my husband and now he's my husband.
So the high five works.
It works. Girls, it works. So like, even like, oh yes, spicy food. Oh man, we just nailed that order. Next, fist bump. Very little, but some. Then handshake. Love it, especially a 1 to 3 pumper. So this is so weird. What I'm about to say is so weird. I do overthink my handshakes. For many years, I overthought them. And then I was like, what does the research say? Here it is for all my overthinkers. 1, a handshake is worth it. If you can go for a handshake, do it, because what's happening now is we wave instead of handshaking. So we go, morning, good to see you. Yep. Don't do that. On camera, sure. But in person, wave, good to see you, and then put your hand right out. It's like the perfect way to go into it. Then, if you don't know someone, this is the research. It's typically 3 pumps. So good to meet you. 1, 2, 3.
Whoa.
We've actually measured.
That's
We've actually measured
wild.
it. If you already know someone but haven't seen them in a while, it's usually 1. Oh, so good to see you. 1. I share this because this makes sense from a biological perspective. If we're meeting someone for the first time, we want to know, can I trust you? I see your palm. Yay. But are we going to connect? Let's palm to palm. And then our body wants 3 pumps worth of oxytocin because that oxytocin actually helps us connect.
That is blowing my mind how many of these things that we're not even aware of. Like, even when we're on the opposite end of someone is introducing themselves to us, we're not aware of, oh, they did 3 pumps. They're going to be great. It's so biological.
And you might have someone double clasp you.
Oh, the double clasp. Yes. Yes.
Why? Can you guess why we do this?
Is it good or bad? Because my guess is it's bad. Question mark at the end of my words.
Bad?
Bad.
It can be bad. It can be good. Context matters. When you double, your body instinctively is trying to get double the amount of oxytocin. It's like a hand hug. But if you're like, I don't know about this person, you are creeped out.
That's true. It depends on the person. Sometimes it's like, oh, wow, they're really engaged. And other times it's like, I'm feeling a little too smothered.
Yes, it's a little smothery. So, you know who is famous for this are all politicians. Why? Right?
They're trying to smother
Why?
you.
Yeah, they're trying to get that vote chemically. That's what they're doing.
Wow.
So they're like, "Please vote for me." And they're like double shaking you. Cheek kiss, even more oxytocin. Love a cheek kiss. Hug the most. That's why I said I would have hugged you.
It makes so much sense how that forms the immediate connection before you even have the conversations. When people are so obsessed with, okay, I got to be super funny and I have to tell this interesting story, people are making up their minds before you even get to the conversation.
Your brain and your body is deciding, should I let this person in or should I not? We should set ourselves up for chemical and neurological success. And that's a weird way to think about interactions. But once you nail that, everything is easier. When people get nasal sprays of oxytocin, they can do this in the lab. They have better social cognition. So they read faces better. They read and interpret emotions better. They trust more and they are kinder. So think of your handshake, your eye contact, your Me Too moment as gifting oxytocin. It's going to make them kinder, open up more, trust you more, and be better at reading you. And you
Wow.
too.
Wow, yeah, you're gonna feel that in response, you're gonna feel that connection. So, going more into, like, the science of being likable, I think, we all want to make more friends, we all want to feel like we're really liked by people we meet, we all want to be able to meet new people and go to a party and feel like we're really cool and likable, like, there's such, like, this high school thing we still have of, like, "I just want people to like me." So, of course, the biggest thing is, like, having confidence and loving yourself and not caring if people love you, but we do wanna be liked. So what are some of those tips to be more likable, to be someone that other people want to be around and hang out with? What does the research say about that?
So when I was building the curriculum for the masterclass, I was like, how do I translate the science of being likable to feel authentic, to not be using lines that are not real? Okay, so likability and charisma, I would put them quite close together. We like to be around charismatic people. So, what does that actually mean? What's the formula of likability? Princeton University did research, Dr. Susan Fisk, on this. What she found was that highly charismatic people, the people we like so much, that we love to be around, we love to talk to, we like to work with, have a perfect balance of two main traits. Do you want to guess what they are?
My
Even
my
one?
guess, because I say this and I've thought about this a lot, is asking questions and being curious more than talk about yourself.
Curious? Any other one other guess?
And the physical balance versus space.
Okay. So I've asked this to a lot of folks. And the funny thing is, when I have people write their answers down anonymously, you know what they guess? Attractive, funny,
Okay.
tall,
Tall.
wealthy, and extroverted.
Oh, wow.
So the hypothesis before this research started was, are likable people funnier, prettier, smarter, taller, extroverted? That's the hypothesis. Thank goodness the answer is none of those things.
Thank God, yeah.
Thank goodness. What they found was you were close. Curiosity is a facet of warmth. Highly charismatic people rank off the charts in warmth and competence, meaning in every interaction, including emails, including profiles, including Slack discussions, phone calls, they are constantly signaling warmth. You can trust me, like me, open up to me. I'm curious about you, warmth. But at the very same time, they're signaling competence. You can rely on me. I'm effective. I'm efficient. I'm capable. In this way, every person is asking two basic questions about another human being. Can I trust you? And can I rely on you? Highly likable people answer those two questions quickly. So the moment I start my meeting or my date or open my email, I am signaling you can trust me, you can like me, I'm open, but also I'm going to get this done, I'm reliable, I'm competent. That is literally the formula for likability and charisma.
And what does that look like in practice? Like if you're in a conversation, how do you know to strike that balance?
We have 4 channels that we communicate this with. One are words. So actually the words we use indicate a lot about our warmth and competence. So highly warm people. So I should make a note. There's one uncomfortable part of this study, and it is not your actual warmth and competence, it's your perceived warmth and
Ooh,
competence.
big difference. Big difference.
So my students, almost all of them, are incredibly warm and competent and have no idea how to show it.
This segment is brought to you by Chase. If your holiday shopping list lives in your notes app and you're doing 90% of it in bed with a face mask on and holiday movie in the background, me too. But with all the too good to be true deals and the random checkout pages that we are trusting with our credit cards, this season has also become prime time for scammers to slide into our wallets. So let's talk about how to help stay safe and shop smarter this holiday season with some expert back tips and a little help from Chase. Holiday shopping is my love language. I really get into it. I have spreadsheets, notes app tabs, and shipping notifications turned on. You would think it was my full-time job. But last year, while trying to track down a sold out skincare set for my sister, I clicked on what I thought was a totally legit ad, and spoiler alert, it wasn't. Thankfully, I caught it in time, but it was a big wake up call. Scams have gotten really sneaky. It's not just fake links from random DMs anymore. Scammers are impersonating legit brands, your bank, even people you know. It's called impersonation fraud. And it's behind some of the scams you see today, from fake holiday deals to customer service DMs. So when I say the Chase mobile app and Chase credit journey is a lifesaver, I mean it. They help make it easier to spot unusual activity because nothing ruins a holiday season like some scammers or fraud. Here's what's actually changed for me since I started using the tools Chase offers. Two-factor authentication is now a non-negotiable in my life, basically like my self-care. I've got it set up on both my phone and laptop, and it's already saved me more than one sketchy login attempt. Then there are the account alerts. I customized mine to get notified for anything even remotely weird. Big purchases, new device login. I know quickly. It's like having a digital bodyguard for your bank account while you're busy wrapping gifts and sipping peppermint lattes. And my personal favorite is Chase Credit Journey. It's totally free, even if you're not a Chase customer, and it gives you credit and identity monitoring. If your info pops up on the dark web or in a data breach, you will get an alert, which, yes, is as dramatic and necessary as it sounds. And of course, the Chase mobile app makes it super easy to check in on your money anytime, anywhere. You can track payments, spot anything unusual, or just confirm you did in fact make that 1 a.m. impulse buy. No judgment, just making sure it was you. Together, these tools make it easier to enjoy the holidays stress-free. So as you dive into your holiday shopping, whether it's for your sister or your 1 a.m. coping purchases, just remember, scammers are getting smarter, but so are we. Stick to retailers you trust, don't fall for the "this deal ends in 30 seconds" panic links, and lean on Chase's security tools to help keep your money and identity protected. If you want to learn more about setting up alerts, monitoring your credit, or using Chase Credit Journey, head to chase.com/holiday scams. Huge thank you to Chase Bank for supporting this episode and for helping us all shop smarter and stress a little less this season.
Undersignaling or muting has become a huge problem recently, last 5 years, where these are extremely trustworthy, super smart individuals, and they are not getting buy-in. They're not being paid what they're worth. They cannot find their soulmate. They cannot find friends. And it is because while they are warm and competent, they are not signaling it. So this is about clarity of signal. In words, it can leak. So we have words, body language, voice or vocal cues, volume, pace, cadence, and ornaments, the colors we wear, what's behind us in our background, the props we hold, the props in our pictures. Those are our 4 channels. All of those have warmth and competence cues. There are 97 different cues that you can use as your kind of recipe. So let's look at words, for example. So my highly warm folks, we test people in our lab on their charisma. And people who rank off the charts in warmth by their peers and their bosses use what I would call warm and fuzzy words. They use words like yay, fab, whoop, wow. They use words like happy, best, both, collaborate, team, excited. They love words like that. In their written communication, they love emojis. My highly warm folks, they love an emoji. They also love, you know what highly warm folks love?
What?
Exclamation points.
Yes. I'm a fan of an
You
exclamation
know,
point for sure.
okay. So, I think when I study my warm people in the lab, it seems like why have one when you could have three? That's the approach.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yes.
Yeah. So they are leaking warmth in all of their interactions. My highly competent folks are allergic to exclamation points. It is physically painful for them to add an emoji. They use words that I call them get it done words, words that trigger our motivation. They're words like power through, efficient, effective, get ready, lead, brainstorm, agenda. My competent people, if you're listening, you love an agenda. Oh, I'm a highly competent person, and there's nothing that gets me more upset than going off agenda. That's my least favorite thing.
So are you typically like, are people either competent or warm, and then it's kind of trying to
Yes.
be more of the other one that you're not?
Yes. So most people are not hitting the balance. Most people are signaling too high in warmth or signaling too high in competence. That's why highly charismatic people are so rare, and we love them because it's so rare to hit both. My mission is to help people be aware of this. They don't realize, and here's why this is important. Yes, I want you to be likable. Great. But more than that, if you signal high warmth, people treat you with more warmth. If you signal high competence, people respect you more. Our cues tell others how they should treat us. Yes, I want you to be likable, but more deeply, I want everyone to be treated with respect and friendliness.
Hmm.
The words you use are changing the way people treat you. And there's a really great study about this. So they had people come into their lab, and they split them up into two different groups. The first group came to the lab. They said, hi, you're going to play a little game today. The game is called the community game. They sat down and played a prisoner's dilemma type of game. The next group came into the same lab, same researcher. They said, hello, today you're going to play a little game. It's called the Wall Street game. The games were exactly the same. Everything was the same. The single word change, community game versus Wall Street game, they wanted to see if that verbal cue would change the way players treated each other and how they played. Everyone who was told they were playing the Wall Street game shared an average of 1/3 of their profits. Everyone who was told they were playing the community game shared an average of 2/3 of their profits.
Whoa.
Meaning, when you use warm words, you literally trigger warmth. So the kind of words you're using in your emails, in your calendar invites, in your profiles, that is changing how people treat you.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm so glad that you brought up kind of like the why behind it, because I think, it's common, especially if like nowadays, to feel like nothing's in my control. And a lot of things aren't. It's a scary time right now, but it's so kind of, I guess, easy to go to the mindset of I'm a victim of my life. I, can't make friends. I can't find a relationship. I can't get a promotion. And I love that your work is saying that there's things that you can change in order to get the outcome that you want in your own life.
Thank you for saying that. I think there is a lot we cannot control. We cannot control other people, and we shouldn't try. But we can control the cues we are sending to other people, and that can change people.
Yeah.
So if we take control of our micro signals, I believe small signals, massive impact. If we change our signals, we are changing how we broadcast our ideas and our presence to the world, and the world will treat us differently. And believe me, I know this more than anyone. I was awkward because I was sending the wrong signals. It was no one's fault but my own. I was sending out signals of doubt, fear, insecurity, pessimism. I have a pretty strong negativity bias. So, of course, the world saw that and sent those back to me. When I started changing my cues, everything changed. And I see this in my students that they leave with one, a sense of purpose. Conversations are very hard when you don't have purpose. If you're like, what do I do with my hands? What questions should I ask? It's very hard. So, purpose. Purpose is the side door into confidence. It's very hard for someone to say, be more confident. No, doesn't work. Be more purposeful. Yes. Go in knowing exactly what to say and doing your first impression. Go in knowing exactly how to signal warmth and competence. Go in knowing exactly what questions to ask. Then you have purpose and you're sending these signals out that transform you. You feel better first, but then other people are like, you are better. This is better. And everything changes and it's beautiful. It's why I do this work. I love it.
It's like getting your insides on the outside. Like you were saying, so many people are genuinely warm, they're competent, but then it's just how you're showcasing your values and your traits to others.
That's it. Those are my people.
Wow, that
Those
is
are the
that
people.
is mind-blowing. Okay, so I wanna go through a couple very common situations and see a few different tips and tricks that you would do differently in order to get the desired outcome. So, first one, I know you touched on this a little bit, but going into a job interview or asking for a promotion, a high stakes meeting, what are those things that you would do to get the outcome you want?
So I have a weird approach to this, but hopefully you don't mind
I
weird.
love a weird. I love anything weird. We love.
I feel like we're all in the same boat
For
here.
sure.
Okay. The mistake that people make when they go into high stakes meetings, interviews, negotiations is they assume it's going to be nerve wracking. If you assume that, it will be. It will be. It will come out in your voice. You will act that way and that will be reflected back to you. I want you to assume friendship. This is a very weird way to think about work, but if you assume your boss, the counterpart, the person interviewing you, your manager, could be your best friend, could be, it changes you. It makes you warmer. It makes you less nervous. And it makes you give advice and answer questions like you would to your best friend. When my best friend asks me for advice, I'm like, oh my gosh, girl, let me tell you. Right? I don't hold back. I don't like, well, maybe certain, no, I'm like telling her exactly what I think. So that assumption of friendship, that mental trick helps you be more warm and competent. So that's the first thing. Assume they're on your side. Assume they are your friend, not your boss. I don't mean disrespect. I don't mean to put your feet up on the table. Assuming they are on your side. And remember, you could be the solution to their problem.
Mm.
And this is the next tip I want to make. In an interview, they need to fill the role. They want to fill it well. I'm hiring right now. Literally, I'm doing a ton of job interviews this week. And I am so desperate to find the perfect person for this role. I want you to know and remind yourself, I am the solution for their problem. If you don't know that, do not go in the room. And then every question they ask you is a solution answer. So no matter what they're asking, what they're trying to get to is, are you the answer to my problem? Every answer is that. So even if it's, so how long have you worked at your previous company? What they're really asking is, will you be a fit at this company? That's what they're really asking. So your answer should not be the what. Well, I've been at that company for about 10 years now. No, not the answer. That's the what. That's not the why. Your answer should be, I've been with them for about 10 years. The first 5 or 6 years was about tremendous growth. That company was a hyper growth mode. The last few years, I've been really stepping into a manager role. And that's why this role I'm so excited about for your company. It's a manager position. That is what I've been honing and getting exactly right for the last 5 years. So when I saw your role opened up, I thought I could be the perfect fit for what you're looking for. Like I just bridged it for them.
Yeah, you're just drawing the connection that you know they're trying to make.
Solution, solution, solution.
So smart.
That's the problem we're trying to solve.
That's so smart. That's amazing advice. The theme of this month's monthly curriculum is presence because I want you to actually enjoy the season, not sprint through it. And I have a hack that will help us all be more present. This year, I am letting Shipt take a few things off my plate so I can actually enjoy the season. You can get same-day delivery on the things you need: groceries, holiday decor, gifts, and yes, even the stocking stuffers or white elephant gift you forgot. They partner with over 100 national retailers and local favorites. Think Target, Michael's, PetSmart, and shoppers with Shipt handle your order with the kind of care your type A brain dreams of. I'm talking updates, thoughtful substitutions, and even the option for special requests, so your order is just right. Ship's Season of Savings event is happening now through December 28th. That means exclusive deals and serious discounts, including member-only savings. Terms apply, but you know we love a good deal. So whether it's groceries for your holiday dinner, last-minute gift wrap, or that toy your niece swore she couldn't live without, Shipt has your back. It's gifting made easy, groceries made convenient, and errands made obsolete. Download the app or sign up now at shipt.com/hi. What about someone who, like, let's say you go to a party and you meet someone you really want to be friends with, or you're meeting your significant other's parents for the first time and you like want them to like you? What do you do?
I love this one. It's one I think about all the time. It's actually what we started with. How can you highlight similarities? I think a problem people get into in conversation is they search for labels. What do you do? Where are you from? Are you married? Do you have children? Those are very limiting. I call them dead end questions.
Yeah.
Yep, married. Yep, got kids. They're very limiting. So instead, I want you to ask questions that are looking for some kind of similarity. Now, if they ask you, what do, you have to answer it. Fine. But you want to ask a question next that is searching for some sort of highlight moment. So, what brings you to this event? Usually there's going to be some kind of highlight. Oh, have you been to this restaurant before? It's one of my favorites. Hopefully they're going to say yes. If not, you can try again. Any kind of context cue where you might have a shared interest, those are actually relationship builders. They also help with in-laws. In-laws are always feeling different. So if you can find samesies, yes, me too. I also do that for my holiday tradition. Oh my gosh, I also love that kind of food so much. They are going to feel like, and like breeds like. When we feel alike someone, we tend to like them. That's the first thing. The second thing is, if that's not working or you're having trouble with it, let's try something else. I'm a big believer in everyone has their flavor of conversation, and people are going to really resonate with that tip, or they're going to be like, no, fine. If that doesn't work for you, I want you to focus less on being impressive and more on letting them impress you. This is a mistake that extroverts will make, thinking they have to be the life of the party. They have to impress everyone. They have to be the funniest, the best stories. I actually don't really teach storytelling. I would rather people be story harvesters. I'd rather teach them how to pull the stories out of someone else.
I
That's the
love that
way.
term, story harvester.
Yes. What this sounds like is, oh, wow, your work sounds so interesting. How did you get into that? It's such a unique career. I've never heard of that before. Will you explain it to me? It's so interesting. Finding the little nuggets that are interesting or pique your interest and asking them to go one step further and putting them on the platform. Wow, that's so interesting. I never thought about that way. This has been so fun talking to you. No way, that really happened. Those are the hallmarks of good conversation.
I say this all the time. I think that everyone's so worried about how to be liked when really all you have to do is like ask them questions.
That's it. So less about impressive, more about letting them impress you. And then I actually accidentally discovered this approach when I was writing one of my first book, and I was looking for stories for the book. And so every conversation I was like, tell me something interesting. I was like looking for stories, and my conversations were amazing. I wasn't talking very much. I was just listening, and I was like, oh my gosh, pretending that I'm always writing a book is the way.
Ooh.
So my last tip is mental trick. Pretend you are hosting a podcast or writing a book, whichever you prefer. You are looking for 20 interesting guests. And unfortunately, the next 20 people have to be in your book and on your podcast. Find the thing that you can talk to them about. You have to find what's interesting about them because everyone is interesting. You just have to ask the right questions.
That is mind blowing. I think so many people go into it and you're so focused on self. You're so like, how am I coming off? What am I doing? So even just flipping it of what can I find in them that's interesting, even just that focus, I can see how that first of all makes you immediately more likable, makes the conversation so much better. But I also feel like you would enjoy it more. Like that's how we enjoy our connections more and kind of get over that, oh, how's the weather? That kind of like surface level conversation.
Yes, and it's so funny. My students who do my office hours with me, I constantly am telling them, stop thinking about yourself. Stop thinking about yourself.
So true.
Let's be other oriented. It's a way better place to be.
Oh my God. Life is so much more fun. And that's how you are more likable. That's how you connect with more people.
Yeah.
What about if you're entering like a bigger group? Maybe it's a networking event or you're going to a big party or something and you want to kind of just like be magnetic, attract the people around you. What does that look like?
First is where you stand. And this is so weird,
What?
but I hosted speed networking experiments where I had people mill around a room and we observed their feet patterns. And we found that where you stood mattered for how many connections and conversations you had. Yes.
Whoa.
So guess where the worst place to stand is?
By the entrance or the bathroom?
Great. There's 3 bad places to stand. Never stand in what I call the start zone. The start zone is where people are taking off their shoes, taking off their coat, scoping the room. No one wants to talk to you there. They're like, where's my drink? Where's the food? Where's someone I know? So never stand in the start zone, in that whole start area. Never stand by the bathroom. It's too tempting. People go in and out. There's one more area. Can you guess where it is?
The exit?
Start zone, exit. I pretend they're in the same place.
Same thing.
Oh, actually, I'll ask you before I tell you,
Okay.
where is the best place to stand?
I think by the bar. Is that right or not right?
By the bar, not by the food.
Oh, not by the food.
Not by the food.
Okay.
So a mistake people make is they hover around the food. They're like, that looks good.
That's
And
so
someone's like, yeah,
true.
I want to go eat it. Thanks. Hi. You cannot make good conversation while someone is getting their plate, about to get their plate, or is holding their plate. All I want to do is go eat. Also, like, there's nothing worse than having a first conversation while you're like trying to eat after a long day. No, do not stand by the food. The best place to stand is as people exit the bar.
Once they have their
So
drink.
not in the line. Yeah, not in the line. The foot pattern of I've got my drink and now I'm about to face the room, drink in hand, and you're right there. Hi, that drink looks delicious. What brings you here? Do you know the host? You then become a social savior. That's exactly where people are like, do I know anyone? So when you're like, I'm here, that is where I want you to plant yourself, right in that little area. Second option is where people are bringing their food. So if there's a place to sit, people are usually like kind of tucking in for a longer option. So actually where you stand matters a lot.
That totally makes sense because you're just thinking about people's experience. They're coming in, they want to go straight to the bar, get a drink, and then they're going to go, now what? Yeah. So you're just thinking of their experience and getting in where they actually want to be in conversation.
That's it. I like to think of very easy social hacks that are like, yes, why didn't I think about that before? And I love running experiments. So a lot of the experiments have been an excuse for me to get very nerdy. And I love that.
Every social event that you go to, are you just like constantly doing research?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Well, first of all, I'm a recovering awkward person. I do not go to events. That's the first thing. I go to very specific kinds of events. Like I don't do well in loud rooms.
Mm.
I don't know. My sensitive self is like, it's too much. I'm like 80. I'm like, I can't see and I can't hear.
Can't hear a damn thing.
And my feet hurt. So I prefer conferences. Oh, I love a conference, but I won't go to the happy hour. People are always like, let's get together at the happy hour. And I'm like, See you in the green room.
Come by later, but not in the big room
No,
with a bunch of people talking.
no, 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 no. And also, like, everyone should set themselves up for success, right? Like, pick the places and the people that help you thrive.
100%. So I know you've studied everything from world leaders to celebrities to FBI agents. Like you've studied what charisma looks like across the board. What do the most charismatic people have in common that we might be surprised by?
Surprised by, I like that. Here's a surprising one. I find this surprising. Make more eye contact is not the whole picture. Yes, I love making eye contact on my first impression. Great. But actually, 100% eye contact is considered invasive. It's like close talkers. It's like, whoa, too much.
Yeah.
You don't want to make too much. You also don't want to make too little. And that's under 50% of the time. But very highly charismatic people, especially powerful people, they typically make eye contact upon the first impression. And then they make eye contact at the end of their sentences. They do this because they're processing. So if I were to give you a math problem, you would want to look up as you did it. You don't want to make eye contact. So very powerful, smart people are like thinking up, they're thinking out, they're looking out. And then when they get to the very end of their point, they're going to tell you just like it is. And there is something about that that's like, whoa, they just thought and they're delivering it right to me. So if you're in a presentation or a Zoom call, this works in high power situations, I highly recommend that pattern.
First impressions, direct eye contact. When you're saying something, think about it and then deliver the end right to the person.
At the end.
The fact that there's, like, formulas is so crazy, like, that we can just follow these formulas and it gives people signals that are subconscious is crazy.
I want to also make a note. I love a formula. They make me feel confident. If that makes you feel fake, don't do it. I don't have it naturally, so the formula helps me feel secure. But if you're like, oh no, it's too formulaic or inauthentic, great. Pay attention to what you do when you feel good. If you make a pattern that's totally different, but you're like, yes, I am owning the room, that's what I want you to do. So either adopt my formulas because you don't know, or pay attention to the formulas that are already working for you and just dial them, like hone them, dial them, get them right.
Yeah, because probably the best thing is whatever's gonna feel most natural to you.
Exactly. But for those who don't have a natural feeling, we have formula as a backup.
Yes, and practice, and then it becomes more second nature.
Exactly.
Who do you think is, like, the best example of charisma? Like, what are the public figures you point to?
Oh my goodness. I love Oprah.
Ugh, I mean, the
Come
original
on.
charisma queen.
What I love about Oprah specifically is she is highly warm. I want to have coffee with her, right?
Yeah.
Like I want to be her bestie.
Yeah.
Can she buy me a tree? Like, love her. Also, whoa, she is smart. She's gonna ask me a really good question. So she's able to signal those very high and she dials. In some of her interviews, she goes so warm. Her cues are so warm and loving. And other interviews, her hard-hitting ones, competent. So she uses her charisma like dials. Oh, I like it. I
Ooh.
like it a lot.
And can she do that within the same conversation? Like, does it flip on and off really quickly?
Yes. Now that listeners know what to look for, go watch a recent interview and watch her dial differently. In the beginning, she's usually very warm, usually warm, friendly, warm cues, expressiveness, nodding, head movement, hand movement, vocal warmth, verbal warmth. Then, as she gets into like the harder hitting part of the interview, you'll see she gets way less expressive, way less head movement, way less gestures except for purposeful gestures. She goes way down her voice tone. She'll make more direct eye contact and she'll do her signature very minimal nodding. So she'll hold her chin and very slowly nod. That's her dialing.
And that is maybe how she gets people to be able to get deep, you think, is because she gets them to feel connected to her, like they're her friend, and then they make you think, "Oh, but I really care about what you have to say." And then it's like this formula to get her guests feeling like, "Okay, I can open up to you."
Your cues tell the world how to treat you.
Mm.
And Oprah tells the world how to treat her, especially her guests, with warm, I'm on your side. Let's assume friendship, but also like, let's get a really good interview.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's such a great example, but also you kind of can identify, oh yeah, Oprah is so charismatic. She's an icon. That's why she's the best interviewer, but you don't really know why. And so to be able to measure and define exactly what it is so that we can emulate and work on it and understand it is so cool.
That's it. And I think you can have charismatic role models that you like, and you can watch them and be like, wow, like they have their own flavor. In my book, I talk about Oprah and Jeff Bezos, two totally different types of charisma, or Oprah and Steve Jobs, two totally different flavors, but they're still charismatic. And so you can also emulate the kinds of cues your role model uses.
Wow, Vanessa, you just blew my mind. This was so fascinating. I'm such a nerd for this stuff. So thank you so much for
Me
joining me.
too.
Where can everyone find you, get your books? Give us all the details.
Please check out my People Intelligence. It's what's called People Intelligence. All these formula that we're talking about is my masterclass, and I'm so proud of it. It's 90 minutes, but it is like literally a masterclass in how to understand people. So that's the first place. And then, of course, my books are on Audible. I sound better than this, I swear.
As
And wherever
raspy
books
and
are
sexy
sold.
as this is.
My goodness, yes. And I also give out weekly tips in my newsletter. So I do a weekly conversation starter and one social hack a week at
Oh
scienceofpeople.com.
my gosh. Your masterclass, I took it yesterday, by the way, to prepare for this interview. It blew my freaking mind. So people have got to go check it out. It's so much of what we cover, but goes way in depth. And like you
Way
see the real
deeper.
life
Yeah.
examples and you're teaching people in the class. It's so cool.
Yeah. We're doing like actual charisma makeovers, and that was my favorite part.
It's fascinating. So I know everyone's going to love it. Vanessa, thank you so much for joining us. I so appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone.
I hope you enjoyed the episode. I know I sure did. Please do not forget to rate, review, and subscribe. It really makes a huge difference for our show so we can keep growing and bringing the content that you love. If you want more info, you can find us at the Everygirl Podcast on Instagram or theeverygirlpodcast.com. Talk to you next week.